Hi, I'm Pastor Kurt, and this is your 5-minute Bible study. Today, we're going to be looking at Mark chapter 5, verses 1 through 20. This is the story of the Gerasene demoniac. So, Jesus and his disciples have just gotten out of the boat, and as they get out of the boat, this guy who's possessed by demons comes out of the tombs from which he's living. Okay, he's not dead, he's just living in these open tombs. He comes rushing out of the tombs knowing who Jesus is. Because he says, "What have you to do with us, Jesus of Nazareth? I know who you are, the Holy One of God." Now we need to stop right there. Because in the Gospel of Mark, there's only a few characters who seem to know who Jesus is. First, the narrator knows, obviously, because in Mark 1:1, we hear that this is the beginning of the good news of Jesus Christ, the Son of God. So the narrator knows, we as the readers know, because the narrator just told us. God the Father knows, because in the baptism scene, we hear the divine voice say, "You are my Son, the beloved, with whom I am well pleased." At the very end of the gospel, we hear about the centurion at the cross who says, "Truly this was God's Son." But one other character who knows who Jesus is are the demons, like this one here. "I know who you are, the Holy One of God." So this demon-possessed guy recognizes who Jesus is. So right off the bat, the demons know who Jesus is, and they know he has the power to cast them out. That's the thing about evil. Evil knows that it's defeated. It already knows that Jesus is stronger than it is. It just refuses to give up the fight, which is kind of funny when you think about it, right? It already knows that Jesus is stronger. So this demon-possessed guy says, "What have you to do with us? Have you come to send us away?" Well, Jesus notices that there's this herd of pigs nearby, and Jesus sends the demons into the pigs. The pigs then rush off the cliff and jump into the water, killing themselves. It's kind of a funny scene to think about these pigs falling off a cliff and falling into the water. But if we notice what's really going on here, we need to pay special attention to what name the guy says. When Jesus asks, "What is your name?" the guy says, "Legion, for we are many." Legion was the term for a group of Roman soldiers. Now, think about that. Think about how the story calls Legion the name of this demon-possessed guy, and how the demons go into unclean pigs who then jump off a cliff. In a way, this scene is very much like a political cartoon. Think about what's going on here. We have this legion of Roman soldiers who have taken over this guy, presumably this Jewish guy, much like how the Romans have taken over the Jewish land. And what happens in this cartoon? Jesus casts them out, makes them go into unclean pigs, and they kill themselves. This is very much a commentary on the Roman Empire at this time. It's a commentary that Jesus is stronger than they are. Now, you can't come out and say that the Roman Empire is horrible. You can't come out and say these legions of soldiers are bad, because then they're going to come after you. But if you make it kind of a funny story, if you make it like a cartoon, then people who are in the know will know, and they'll find it funny. It's the same way with political cartoons today. Think about how they exaggerate certain politicians, or they call them certain animals, or that sort of thing, right? If you're in the know, you know why it's funny. The readers of this gospel would have been in the know. Also, when we think about Jesus having this authority over the demons, we have to pair it with the story that came right before, which was the story of Jesus calming the storm. In that story, we hear that Jesus has authority over the natural world, that he can calm these storms. Now, I talked about that story in the previous video, so you can go back and watch that one. But in this scene, we also see that Jesus has authority over the spiritual realm. So whether it's the natural world or the spiritual type of world, Jesus is in charge. Which means, no matter what storm you're facing or however you feel possessed by things like doubt or worry or anxiety or whatever, things that just seem to be taking over your life, whatever storm you're facing, whatever's possessing you, Jesus is stronger. Jesus has the power to cast that out of you. After Jesus cast out this legion into these pigs, the guy who was healed wanted to follow Jesus. And Jesus said no. Instead, he told the guy to tell others what just happened. When Jesus does this in our lives, we can't help but tell others too. There's your 5-minute Bible study for the day. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.